I want to know the interest rate. Now, what people say is, oh, you should take the highest interest rate and pay it off first. But I wouldn't tell you that, Stephen. I'd tell you, you take the smallest credit card. I don't care what the interest rate is.
The smallest amount.
Smallest amount. So maybe this card right here is $500. And this card down here is $3,000. I'd have you make minimum payments on every card automatically. This is really important, the automatic part. Have you go on, I'd literally go into your house, I'd open up your iPad, and I'd have you make minimum payments online automatically so that every card's paid on time. Then I'd say, Stephen, how much extra money do you have? Because I want you to put it all towards the smallest card. We're gonna get that small card paid off as fast as possible. We're gonna add all the extra money to that small card. Minimum payments on everything. Once that card's paid off, we're gonna go like this. You don't have to close the account because we don't wanna lower your credit score, but we're gonna put that card over here and never use it. Now we're gonna go to the next smallest card. Some people call this the snowball approach. The reason I teach this system is it reduces the amount of credit cards you have as fast as possible. And you see yourself make progress. It's really important to see yourself make progress when you're doing anything financially. Then I would attack the interest rates because the interest rates aren't always permanent. You can negotiate your rates lower. You can move credit cards to another card with a low interest rate. Have to be very careful though when you do that because they're waiting for you to make a slip up and make a late payment. And when they do, they'll jack the credit card interest rates back up again. You can also call up your credit card companies if you're really struggling and tell them, I'm struggling and I'd like to know if you have a program in place where I can stop the interest rate and pay these cards off in more accessible. This is basically what the nonprofit credit card counseling organizations do. But the credit card companies often have programs too for this. They'll tell you to stop using the card. They'll actually make it so you can't use the card anymore, but they'll stop the interest rate. So that approach has helped so many people get out of credit card debt. Now, I just want to say something super important because I've gone through this. When you go through the work of getting out of credit card debt, it's a huge victory. Don't go out and celebrate on the credit cards because I got myself out of credit card debt in college, junior year, and then I went out and celebrated and got myself back into credit card debt. And people do this all the time. Usually people get themselves in a hole at least twice, sometimes 3 times. Don't go back in a hole again. I didn't carry credit cards for 30 years, I only carried a debit card. And I had to pay it off every month.
Should these people who are in the bottom sort of 60% be thinking at all about how to make more money, how to increase their income?
Absolutely.
And what are the easiest ways to do that? That you'd recommend, just from your own experience of being in the professional world? And
so my experience, and I know that you wrote this great book, Diary of a CEO, right? Anybody who hasn't read your book, you wrote this great book. What's the best way to grow your income if you have a job? It's to be good at what you do, right? You can have a job at minimum wage. Let's pretend you work at McDonald's and you have a job working minimum wage at McDonald's. The owner of McDonald's, the guy who owns that franchise or the gal that owns that franchise, desperately needs good employees. Who becomes a manager that makes more money? The person who works really well. Now, a lot of people, well, I don't know if I want to work at McDonald's. I'm just giving it as an example. Anywhere you work, how you grow your income is you are the best at what you do. You show up early. You have a game plan at work. You work late. You do what you say you're going to do. You don't wait to be told what to do, right? Like, I've been an entrepreneur all my lifetime. The hardest thing about being an entrepreneur is what?
Everything.
It's everything. And most people who are entrepreneurs go, well, a lot of times it's hard to have good people unless you're a good leader. People are so thirsty to have jobs with purpose and meaning. And most people are actually looking for leadership. So if you can be really good at what you do, you will make more money. There's no limit to wealth in the world, right? Like, we've never seen so much wealth being created in our entire lives as right now. If I were young, a lot of people go, well, you should learn AI. Yeah, you know what? Probably you definitely should learn how to use AI, because if you don't learn how to use AI, you're going to have really limited skills and go into certain jobs. You know what else people are going to go out and do? Learn how to be a plumber. Learn how to be an electrician. Learn how to put up garage doors. I've got friends. I was just recently on a podcast with a guy who's made $1 billion putting in garage doors. And he took me through his warehouse and showed me their garage door models. And I was like, I've got a friend who makes gyms that go in garages. I just connected them. He's got a huge business making gyms for garages. There's just no limit to the amount of opportunities out there. You have to, though, get out of a stuck mind frame. I mean, you had Tony Robbins here. If there's anybody who can help you get out of a stuck mind frame, it's that guy, right? But you can't have, Zig Ziglar used to call it stinking thinking. You have to have the ability to look into the future and believe that your future can be as exciting today or better. I put up a post yesterday. I said, I would rather be an optimist and be wrong than a pessimist and be right. And you show me somebody who wants to make more money, go in the world an optimist and figure out how to go make more money.
Do you think a lot of this is a mindset at the core of it? Obviously, there are real socioeconomic factors, and there's people who live in certain situations. And if I think back to, where I was born in Botswana, there's just less opportunity. And sometimes you have repressive governments and other factors that will objectively keep you stuck. But all other things being equal, how much of the game is mindset?
It always comes down to a decision. And we started by talking about my grandmother. If my grandmother hadn't made a decision at 30 that she didn't want to be poor, that she was tired of living paycheck to paycheck, if she hadn't decided that she would go out and teach herself about money and take 50 cents of her paycheck and 50 cents from my grandfather's paycheck and start investing, I wouldn't be here today. She made a decision that had a ripple effect through our family. She built financial security for herself with that one decision. She taught my father how to invest, and he was a financial advisor for over 45 years. My sister's a financial advisor. I was a financial advisor. I spent the last 30 years teaching people about money. One woman's decision had this ripple effect.